and welcome back to another episode of the Perth to Paisley Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the Scottish Premiership leaders, Heart of Midlothian, who won't go any further in the Scottish Cup this season after being eliminated by Falkirk at Tynecastle. Joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss a wonderful win over St Mirren before a disappointing defeat to Falkirk is Daniel McIver. McIver, they say that timing is everything. We have made a right arse of this, haven't we?
Yeah, we really, really have, because after genuinely one of my favourite games I've ever been in attendance for, what followed was an absolute shit show that I thankfully wasn't in attendance for. We clarified that last week, so thankfully I didn't have to shell out any money for that.
This guy did. Come on.
Yep. But frustration. Frustration is the main feeling, and one that I hope doesn't override the episode, because as you said, a massive win came first. How are you?
Yeah, disappointed that the fixtures have fallen the way that they have, because
Yeah,
even had they gone reverse the other
reverse.
way, like, okay, the Falkirk defeat was disappointing, as we'll touch on, but a monumental midweek match against St Mirren. But ultimately, I mean, let's just hope that there's 16 more of them in the Scottish Premiership
Yeah.
this season. Um, it's a curious episode, this, because I know it really is kind of bipolar behaviour. Like I think trying to G up the troops after the weekend is arguably even greater than, a greater a task than it is for Derek McInnes to name a fully fit starting 11. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. I don't want to say that the wheels are beginning to fall off, because I want to remain as positive as I can, but what's happened that has happened is not, this is not good.
I would say this is the fork in the road for this season. This is the moment in terms
Not
of,
the wee wobble that we've had previously, and
yeah,
everybody was like, no, they've had that. You think it's still
no,
to come.
it's now. And for me, it's nothing to do with the actual physical loss to Falkirk. It's the ramifications of players we have lost this week and potentially will lose for longer as this week pans out. This is it for me. This is the moment where in May we'll look back and either go, this was the beginning of the end.
This was when
This
we
is
put our balls on the table.
Yeah, and either it was a disaster and we can point to the last two games and go, yep, that was it. We never recovered. We kind of just dropped off. Or we point to it and go, it was then. It was
I
that
really hope it's that one.
5 day period that made them who they are.
I really hope that it is the latter as opposed to the former. Before we get chatting about both fixtures, I think it's only right that we talk about a player that will feature for Hearts in the future, and possibly in the very near future,
We
depending
could
on what you
dedicate the
read.
entire episode to this saga. Can I just say, by the way?
Um, yeah, I'm just going to read the Hearts statement, because obviously you can then comment on what you're going to comment on with regards to tweets and journalists and legal proceedings, I guess.
Yep.
But Hearts are delighted to announce that they have reached an agreement with Ugandan international forward Rogers Mato to become a Hearts player in the summer so far. The 22-year-old will join the club in July upon the expiration of his contract with North Macedonian side Vardar, and will pen a 3-year deal. Again, sounds good. Thanks to his goal scoring exploits this season, Rogers has become one of Europe's hottest properties and recently competed at the Africa Cup of Nations. What a mental ending to that tournament, by the way.
Just the
Incredible.
best things
So good.
ever.
A product of Kampala-based Proline FC in his homeland, Rogers cut his teeth in the Uganda Premier League before tasting European football for the first time with, oh God, Sanliurfaspor in
Yep.
Turkey.
Smashed it.
He made the move to the North Macedonian top flight in February 2024 with AP Brera, and a year later was snapped up by Vardar. In his first season there, he helped the side to the UEFA Conference League qualifiers and lifted the Macedonian Cup. He's enjoyed an explosive 2025-26 campaign to date, sending Vardar top of the league thanks to his 12 goals in 13 games. much to the delight of his chairman, I'm going to assume. Something else won't delight him. He's taken his talents to the international stage too. First capped in 2022. He's already amassed 41 appearances for the Cranes and has scored 8 goals, including one at this year's AFCON tournament. Come the summer, Rodgers will swap the Balkans for Edinburgh and become part of Derek McInnes's Men in Maroon, despite what Vardar and Sporting Kansas City will tell you. What do we make of the signing, the saga, the whole shebang, the full Monty?
I think we have a lot to thank to Toby Sibbick, who's clearly had an ear at the AFCON and been like, by the way, mate, get your hearts. Forget Kansas. No thanks. Toby Sibbick. I will love you till my heart breaks. But
he loves the fucking Gorgie, that's for sure.
What a mad saga this has been. So, this is me just thinking off the top of my head. If I've missed points, sorry. But my recollection is we approach Vardar with a 300 grand bid. They reject it. They then come and say, we've decided there's a buyout clause of 1.5 million. Not a release clause that doesn't exist in his contract. We've just decided
if you
as
want
a club,
cough up the cash.
Yeah, despite the fact
he's available
he's
on a free
contract in July. But okay, Hearts then reportedly kind of pull out and go, okay, you Rajas, no thank you. Then like Trabonzor apparently bid the money.
Transport interested, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, right, he's going there, and I just accepted. It was like, right, he's going back to Turkey. He's going to live his life. Fair play to the boy. Then it just comes out that we've signed him on a pre-contract, and it's like, all right, okay.
The club just announced it without giving a single fuck.
Nothing. Just here we are. Then Vardar. Well, there's this one journalist basically who's just reporting all this, and he has a statement that's like, no, actually, Vardar have sold them to the MLS. And everyone's like,
I wouldn't want to be him given the state of his replies. Oh
no.
My goodness.
And everyone's kind of like, that's weird. Okay. Then Sporting Kansas City come out with the funniest statement of all time, being like, yeah, we were really interested in him. However, absolutely fair play to the guy. He signed a pre-contract with this Scottish club called Hearts, so we wish him all the best. Vardar then continue their utter capitulation publicly, and their chairman releases an Instagram statement calling for basically the death of all player power and saying that players shouldn't have any control about where they go. He doesn't want there to really be Bosmans.
It reminded me very much of Vladimir Romanov's kind of escapade when talking about journalists and hangers-on, agents,
crooks and liars.
Crooks, all the greed that exists within the world of football.
Yeah, like there is, of course, we as a club deal with someone, and mate, I think it gives us the edge because we as a club are like, we have fucking seen you before, mate. We can how to deal with you. Come on, then. And now, I've not seen an update. Apparently, he's just not returning to North Macedonia.
He's gone AWOL. I mean, this is like Duke trying to get out of Aberdeen. I think he's very much got his eyes set on Edinburgh, and he's like, no, I am heading there whether you like it or not. It's a very bizarre situation. I mean, the Balkans are crazy. That is for certain. But I don't even think that we could have foreseen just how mental this actually is.
And obviously, he did very well in AFCON. And McInnes has spoken about the fact that he went to AFCON verbally agreeing with us.
And he's put pen to paper, so that's... we've hammered that home. It's legally binding. It's there.
That was the worry that McInnes had, that he was about to go onto the centre stage of the world just having verbally agreed with us, and then, like, Bologna might come in, and suddenly he's like, I don't give a fuck, that was on the phone to you, Dale.
Goes to tear it up, does an Ali Dia, and basically, before you know it, he's playing in the Prem.
Yeah, but no, thankfully, because on paper, it just looks like typical Jamestown. He's utterly world class, but nobody's picked him up yet.
My kind of skepticism, or not skepticism, but I'm pretty sure if players are over 23, then they arrive on a free transfer having signed a Bosman. He's 22. Now, will he turn 23 by the time he gets here, which would therefore mean that we miss out on the fee, or will we still be due them compensation? Because the thing that I don't want is a civil war to kick off between both clubs and then basically say cough up or he's still our player.
No, he turns 23 in October.
Right.
So
Okay.
maybe there's another twist in this tale.
Okay. That was just my understanding. I don't know
However,
if that just exists in Britain or what.
I will say
because
though,
it's like when players go north and south of the border, like Scottish clubs will
yeah,
want
that's like a
compensation and vice
development
versa.
fee thing,
Yeah.
but I think that is actually just a British
Oh,
thing.
oh, is it
Yeah,
right? Okay.
I don't
So
think that is a
so
universal thing.
so
But
this young man
also,
could come in for on a free transfer, despite his club wanting 1.5 million and
yeah,
basically claiming that we have to pay him or piss off, basically.
I think he will come this window.
It's
I
going to
think
be, I'll tell you what, it's going to be some laugh if after all this that he's absolutely rotten, isn't it?
I know exactly. But I think there's a genuine possibility we go back. Graham Jones phones up the North Macedonians and goes, "Hello,
Jonesy.
Vardar. Do you remember the 300 grand we offered you 2 weeks ago and you immediately rejected? How's that sounding now that we've actually got him?" Because it does feel like it makes sense for all parties to just agree something.
Do we think Uncle Tony and the board are now looking at it going, anybody from Eastern Europe? No, you're all right. Like
Yes, we've
we've
immediately been turned off.
dealt with one Balkan madman. Like that's us one and done. Like see you
In
later.
fairness, we signed Kazaridis for the Slovakian top tier, and
True, but
they were
when
lovely.
when the Gorgie juggernaut knock, it's a different knock, isn't it?
Why would you say that after we've been knocked out by fucking Falkirk in the first round of the cup? Pick your moments, man.
No, I'm wanting to go into this episode with a lot of positivity. Really credit the team for a hard fought victory. It's just disappointing that that came first, and then we have to talk about the cup exit. I was going to say we'll go around the grounds, but we'll go around the
One
ground
ground, yeah.
because, yeah, obviously these were kind of games in hand, so there was only one other match taking place on Wednesday, the 14th of January, and that saw Celtic sneak past Falkirk by a sole goal at the Falkirk Stadium. Very annoying. Haven't watched the highlights, McIver, because I'll be honest, people had said, how are Falkirk not 2 or 3 up here? So I then thought, I'm not wanting to watch this because this will just be pain and agony. And I'm at a stage now in life where I'm just withdrawing said pain and agony. What did you make of it?
That was the exact same as me. I
Nice.
was sat at Tynecastle on my phone as we were down to 10 men within 9 seconds, it felt like, and just refreshing the score, going, it's still 0-0. It's still 0-0. It's
And then
still
bang.
only 1-0. It's still only 1-0. Yeah, just by all accounts, they should have won it. Never mind, lost it. And
Ah.
it meant, though, that our game took on even more importance to win.
That it did. And Derek McInnes named 4 changes, some of which were enforced from the team that defeated Dundee by a sole goal at Dens Park. Craig Gordon replaced the suspended Alexander Swallow in goal as expected. 2 changes came in the full pack positions, with Harry Milne making a welcome return, despite rumours circulating that his season was in fact over, as he took Jamie McCart's place at left back. Jordi Altena, I'm going with Jordi Altena as opposed to Jordi and Altena.
I
I'm
think
going
it's
Jordi
Yolde
Altena.
Altena.
I don't care. Dropped onto the bench for Michael Steinventer to start at right back. Blair Spittle replaced Thomas Magnuson in the midfield quartet, which meant that Hearts lined up as follows. Gordon in goal, a back four of Steinvender, Halkett, Finlay and Milne. I say quartet, it could be seen as a 4-3-3. I think it played as that with Spittle, Devlin and Beringame in the middle. And obviously Shagaridis, Braga and Kizaridis supporting Shankland in attack. What did you make of that team? Given it actually was quite a lot of changes from the weekend heading
Yeah.
into the midweek match, McIver.
It was, but it weirdly didn't feel like it because we knew
No.
Gordon was going to be in. We knew that there was going to be like injury suspensions and stuff. But when I saw it, I'd finished work at 6, so I was at I was in the Fountain Park Burger King when the
Very
team came
nice.
out.
It wouldn't be my choice at Fountain Park. I'm a Wingstop kind of guy, but very nice.
That's
All the power
fair,
to you.
but Wingstop was absolutely heaving. So I
As
was like,
to be
let's
expected.
just
I
go.
love that place. Could
It
go
is
autograph.
fantastic. But the main point was just, oh, Blair Spittle's here. Okay, what's going on, basically. However, it ended up that Blair Spittle played very, very well. So,
He served us a couple of slices of humble pie, didn't he,
yeah,
Blair?
he definitely didn't on Saturday. But
No.
on Wednesday night, he was loving life. So fair play to you, Blair. You did very, very well, despite my trepidation.
We were loving life, albeit it was a somewhat rocky start. You mentioned that Craig Gordon was back in the Hearts team, and he didn't waste any time in making his presence known after just 4 minutes. As Conor McMenamin receives a Saints throw in from Marcus Fraser, has a pop at goal, sends his effort well over the bar, but Scotland's number one rushed out to bark orders at a few players on Hearts' left-hand side. Now, I saw this in real time, had no idea who he was barking, growling at. Have watched back the highlights. I still don't. Are you any
I
more
think it's
clued up than
Milne
I am?
because it comes from a throw in, and the throw in is taken, and both contacts St Mirren are untested. It's literally just a throw in to a St Mirren player and then a pass inside to a St Mirren player with no Hearts player near it. So
Nobody tracking runners or
yeah,
nothing.
or engaging at all. So Gordon went ballistic. I will say it because I forgot about this until you just said about starts and stuff. I have never been at a game where it has been made more clear to me from the club that they wanted the fans backing. It was
Delighted you said this because yeah,
unbelievable.
I'm sorry that I skipped over this because you're dead right. When the club have a sit down interview with the manager, who chooses his words very carefully, but in other terms basically says either come and get behind the team or we don't want to see you.
Yeah.
That is very telling. And to be fair,
I like the finding out, by the way, that Derek McInnes is a Perth Paisley listener because I said the exact same the night before.
I think that was a concern that we shared. Obviously, there was other podcasters and journalists coming together to
Yeah.
speak about it, but yeah, it was made very apparent between that and the club basically capsing "make some noise" or "let's make some noise," as Scott Wilson used to say over the tannoy, for kind of pre-match tweets. But yeah, that was
The light
you're,
show
you're
happened when the
dead. The light
team
show.
lineup was being read out.
It was great. It was all shaping up, all coming up Millhouse,
Yeah.
until it wasn't. As on 12 minutes, the entire landscape of the game changed. What can only be described as a hospital pass from Stuart Findlay is fired into Benny Bringame, which therefore means that my Congolese king is under pressure from Mikel Mandron. He loses control. He leaves a nasty challenge on Roland Adobu,
That is
and
underselling it.
I know, but you know that I can't criticise Benny Bring because I absolutely adore him. He leaves a nasty challenge on Roland Adobu, and initially Kevin Clancy decides to brandish Benny a yellow card. Fine. However, VAR decides to intervene, and after Clancy is sent to the screen, and following what feels like an absolute eternity, Beningame is instead sent off for serious foul play. And for the second match running, we are down to 10 men. How much were you cacking your pants, or was it just me?
So when the challenge happened, I went, that's a red. That's really bad. I could just kind of tell from the way the St Mirren player went down. I was like, that doesn't feel
And his
like it's.
teammates' protests as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And the
that's
fact
usually
that
telling.
most Hearts players kind of just didn't do anything. Because normally, if it's
Totally.
a 50-50, you've got your own teammates running to defend you. Nobody ran to defend Benny.
No, no.
Listen, you're right. It's a terrible pass from Finlay. But I don't. I've watched this back a lot as opposed to the Celtic Falkirk highlights. I don't even really know what Benny does because he obviously doesn't go in to like do them.
No, and even even when in possession, like he doesn't really lose control because he doesn't really
Yeah,
touch the ball. It's really strange.
when you watch it in the slow motion one, he's just going in with so much. power that because his foot skiffs off the ball, it has nowhere else to go than into the boy's leg. But I just feel, especially of all players, Benny, even with a ball that bad, we should never be in this situation. You should never be lunging in like that. Absolutely wild. It
I
is
don't know what you're talking about.
insane that Clancy gives that as a yellow.
Oh,
Like in the
that
moment, it's
that
wild.
that, that was the theme of the evening with
Yeah,
regards to the officials. I mean, that is wow.
it was
That like
shocking for both sides.
absolutely was absolutely. It's not like Benny though. It's not in his makeup.
No, and it's
So
like, listen, I've never seen a player react that negatively to a red card, I don't think, in my life. Just sobbing from when he was on the pitch, and then McInnes, Shankland, all the Halkett, all these guys could have been like, he was literally in tears in the dressing room.
and you say that I've also I can't remember the last time I saw the crowd like
Yeah.
be so supportive of a player that's just been sent
Well,
off.
this is the thing. I think a part of it was because a lot of people didn't think it was a red in the moment.
No, till they've seen the replay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that was me because obviously where I sit
Yeah,
up
you're
at the back of
miles
bed,
away from it.
miles
Yeah.
away, and I'm thinking, oh shit, like okay, it's a yellow, and then as soon as he gets sent to the screen, I'm like, oh well, he's
Yeah.
going to change his mind here, having not seen it back in real time.
But
Um,
also a big part. So yeah, I think that is part of it. But the other part, and it's going off what I was saying about how the club made such a big deal about us supporting them. As soon as it happened, Devlin, Shankland, Braga, and Kizaridis all turned to the crowd and were like getting it like arms motioning and being like, "Come on, we need you
I usually
so
hate that
badly."
sort of shit as well, but I think the club are justified
Yeah, it's
because
fully justified and it worked. Like you fit
yeah,
at halftime, Graham Eason saying like, "We need you to be the 11th man on the pitch," kind of thing. And it's like, listen, there was one moment where Spittle he like stopped on the ball, and instead of passing forward through a line to Devlin, he kind of started again and went back to Finlay. And it summed up where we are right now as a fan base. Because if that was against Livingston, the crowd would have grumbled and got annoyed.
yeah.
But generally, it got an applause because it was ball retention. But about two rows behind me, an old guy, like, because everyone was so supportive, you really heard him clearly be like, fuck's sake, Spittle, what the fuck are you doing? And by the time he'd finished his sentence, about 10 folk had turned to him and been like, shut the fuck up. Like, never mind the context that's happened with the club being so obvious. It's like, look at the situation we're in. It's not like he's lost the ball. It's not like we're now
No.
can say, it's like, it does not matter that little things aren't going to be exactly how you want them. Just support them. And it was, the
I think
place was
that's
bouncing
football
the whole
anyway, isn't
time.
it?
Yeah.
It's not even like this game. Like players try things and they don't come off.
Yeah.
That's just part and parcel. And ultimately, like people will criticize players for trying something and it not coming off, but they'd be just as quick to criticize somebody for not trying it in the first place anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I get both sides, but here it was evident that Hearts needed our support.
Mhm.
And on 20 minutes, St Mirren actually came forward with their first chance through Miguel Freckleton on the left of the Buddies back three. Oisin Smith chips it towards Mikael Mandron on the left before Hearts win it back through Michael Steinvender. Cammy Devlin is dispossessed as Smith looks for Killian Phillips. It's flicked out towards Roland Adobe on the left hand side with nowhere to go. He curls a beautiful effort goalwards, and the ball is past Craig Gordon in off the post in a flash. Thankfully, however, it's pulled back for offside, and despite Alex Gogic teasing the Gorgie Ultras, it's the big Cypriot that's left with egg on his face as the officials thankfully reach the correct decision. One of a few offside calls that they get right, and one of a few calls generally that they got right.
This is maybe a weird time to mention this, considering it's like a positive move from a St Mirren point of view. I cannot remember as bad a team coming to
Yeah, they
Tynecastle
were
as that.
poor. They were
They
really
were
poor.
they were shockingly poor, especially with the context of us down to 10. I saw it was something like, if you include stoppages and additional time, we played 86 minutes with 10 men,
Jesus.
and they mustered 2 shots on target.
Yeah, they were
throughout the whole
bad.
game.
I mean, Stephen Robinson's post-match interview.
It's the
Did you watch
best
it?
part of the whole result. Did you watch the St Mirren TV one?
Yes, and he was
That's the best one.
scathing.
The
It
the
was
BBC
incredible.
one's quite good, but it's nothing. It's the
But
starter
but
before the
but
main
but
course of the St Mirren one.
I was gonna say he knows that that's on national telly, so he can't be quite
Yeah,
as scathing. Whereas on his own club's TV, I mean, you see him literally pitch side at Tynecastle, and he is slewing them, like
yeah,
properly going through. And it must be frustrating for him because I think he might have one eye on, say, the Aberdeen job.
yeah,
And he thinks, well, now the form that we're in, there's absolutely no danger I'll land the Aberdeen job. I've done all
yeah.
that I can here. But I don't think staying at St Mirren's the worst thing for him. I think they're usually a decent team. I mean, I know they missed a couple of players when taking us on at Tynecastle, but I like you, expected a tougher test against St Mirren.
I literally see
And they did.
after like the two offside goals they had. Like my dad was sat going, I'll still be pissed off if we don't win this game, even though we did it to him, because of how bad St Mirren were.
No, they were poor. And your dad had every right to be pissed off because we blew
Oh,
a couple of good chances. On 23 minutes, Saints defenders are looking for an out ball. Richard King looks to spray a crossfield ball to the left hand side and Declan John at left wing back. Mikey Steinvender heads down for Devlin. He finds Alexandros Kizaridis, who exchanges a 1-2 with Lawrence Shankland. Our Greek god receives from Blair Spittle, drives forward, slips it out wide to Harry Milne, who bombs forward in support. A cheeky little step over from the left back before he slides one into the box towards Claudio Braga. But the Portuguese can't quite wrap his foot round it. And an even bigger chance for him came about a minute later. Miguel Freckleton receives from Oisin Smith on halfway, moves into the Hearts half. A heavy touch from the centre back is pounced upon by Steinvender again, who I thought was actually really good in this game.
yeah.
The Austrian smashes up the park. Richard King can't quite judge the ball correctly as it comes over his dome. Braga pounces, flicks forward, looks to lob the onrushing Shamal George, but he can't get it up, down, and over the goalkeeper and under the bar. Lauren Shankland was square. However, I don't think this is as bad a chance to pass his teammate as one that we're going to discuss
Yeah.
right before half time.
Yeah. It was just symptomatic of the fact, as opposed to Dundee, where when we went down to 10 men, McInnes changed a lot. I think it speaks to how confident he was that St Mirren when they got to do much that he didn't change anything.
No,
Um,
it was very much a 4-2-3 from that point on,
yeah,
wasn't it?
and it's just Braga and Kizaridis both had chances in this first half that I feel like speak to their lack of, I don't know what I would call it, just like nous. Where I feel like in both situations, Braga's here and then later with Kizzy, the first half, if they just wait and get hit, it's a red card and a penalty.
Yeah. And then we don't have to work quite as hard because we've then not
Yeah.
got that numerical disadvantage and
I
whatever.
think Shanklin in those situations lets himself get hit.
Do you get a bit of know-how then, or
Yeah,
can
it's just nous.
yeah,
It's just tactical nous that comes with experience. They're both younger than Shanklin. They've not played at the same amount of games, same level and stuff like that. But it's just frustrating.
very frustrating. On 28 minutes, Oisin Smith pings a ball out to the right for Saints as they come forward again. Harry Milne heads clear, but only as far as Marcus Fraser. He chests out for Michael Mandron to drive towards goal, but a tame effort that's gathered by Craig Gordon in the end. We spoke about St Mirren's first offside goal. They have the ball in the net for the second time on half an hour. Again, thankfully ruled out through offside. Cammy Devlin heads Freckleton's pass clear under pressure from Killian Phillips. The Aussies' header drops to Alex Gogic, who we spoke about beforehand and usually turns into Zidane when coming up against Hearts. But his miscued shot lands at Roland Dodo with his feet. He stabs it goalwards. It comes off Gordon. It comes off him. It also trickles in off a sliding Harry Milne. It's a really ugly goal, but thankfully it's a really ugly disallowed goal. As again, the officials intervene through offside, like I say.
It looked a mile off in the ground. But then when you
I
watch
know,
it back, it's like
but
literally centimetres because of
because
Devlin's
Cammy's on the deck. Yeah,
Aye.
exactly.
Why is Devlin the covering player heading that backwards? Wait, heading that away for goal though? We've got two centre halves.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, even if it was an Oisin McEntee, you could semi understand
Yeah.
it in there in the middle of the
Not
park.
little Cammy
But
Devlin.
not wee Cammy, because he is tiny. I'm very surprised. He had quite the evening up against Killian Phillips, as we'll speak about.
I hate that
But
man now for the rest of
he's a
time.
fucking hammer thrower. I've always
Yeah.
hated him. But right before halftime, we spoke about it briefly. An even better opportunity than Braga's lob falls away of the hosts. Good pressing from two-thirds of Shaganidis as Shankland and Braga are both in hot pursuit of several Saints players following their throw-in as Freckleton finds Smith. Shankland looks to shut down both Smith and Richard King. The ball eventually deflecting back to Shamal George, who I think is just caught unawares, really. He
Yeah.
bowls it out to Oisin Smith. The ball breaks loose following a terrible touch. Um, I, there's been kind of discussion with regards to like Premiership and Championship levels. I, Oisin Smith's been on loan at Partick Thistle, and I think you could tell that he wasn't quite at Premiership level. Kizaridis races in to nick it off him, looks to poke beyond George in goal. It breaks for Braga, who's on an angle, and this was right in front of me, and I could see Lauren Shankland is screaming in the centre, but the goalkeeper palms behind for a corner kick. I was so just infuriated that we did not score here because I think Kizaridis' chance is good enough. I think Braga's selfish and should square it, and I think Lauren Shankland doesn't kind of reap the rewards from ultimately his hard work in pressing the Buddies backline.
Say it quietly because I love him, but Kizzy's starting to piss me off a bit.
Interesting, because I'm a bit like that with Braga, and I've said that I've been vocal about this in recent episodes. I think off the ball here he was phenomenal. On the ball here he was a disgrace, and then I don't think we've had that complete performance from him for a wee while. Probably Celtic away is the last one off the top of my head.
I think Braga's hour against St Mirren is the best hour he's had in a Hearts shirt.
Without scoring.
Without score. No, even in good games where he scored
You
twice.
just think generally,
I think barring this one chance where he should cut it back, I thought he was exceptional and was like everything I want a forward player to be.
he did embody. He's like the Portuguese pest was
Yeah, like
how I would describe him because he covers every blade. There's no
it
doubt
was
about
unbelievable. The amount of times you got us out of trouble just by getting the ball, tracking back all the way down to like the flag at your end when in the first half. Like, sorry, the second half.
Needlessly there, but just does it anyway
Yeah.
for shits and giggles.
We'll get on to it. He puts in a perfect ball for Shankland in the second half.
He does.
But
It's a great cross.
that comes from him winning it in our 18-yard line and driving forward and playing it off and playing the 1-2. Unbelievable. The last two games with Kizzy, I would still not drop Kizzy. I still want Kizzy in the team. But like
he's got history against Celtic as well.
Exactly.
That's the big thing for me.
But it's just I feel like I'm maybe being harsh and thinking too much on the cup game because I thought he was utterly awful against Falkirk. But here, he's really good in that moment where he engages and wins the ball. But I think he then just takes too long. He just hit it, get it and hit.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that Braga was terrible, or I think that's harsh. I just think their decision making at times is questionable, and ultimately that's the reason as to why they've stopped off here before the next destination.
And that's journey. The thing. If this is the floor for Kizaridis, what a player he is! If this is it's like I swear in the last few games he's still got assists and stuff, and I'm still like, come on, Kizzy, I'm missing goal. It is mad that he's not scored in 14 games though.
Wow, I didn't know that. So was Celtic his last goal?
Celtic was his last goal.
Oh my god!
So
and that was October.
And that was when October. They had his kid. It's Blamey's son. That's what it is. All right.
No, that boy's going to be a future Scotland international, despite having Kizaridis as his surname. I love football. Somehow we get to halftime goalless here. But despite going down to 10 men, I thought we were the better team, and I remember texting you saying that this game was there for us. It was just kind of hoping that we could see it through, having been on top, because there are times this season where I don't want to look back and think I didn't want this to be another Kilmarnock. I didn't want this to be another Dundee
Yeah.
United. I wanted this to be, our just reward, and ultimately gaining the 3 points that I believe our performance merited. Um, on 53 minutes, good interception from Harry Milne halfway before he plays a 1-2 with Braga. Continues galloping into the area as Milne does. He looked like he hadn't even missed a minute, Harry Milne,
Nah,
as well, I thought.
it was
His
great.
passes behind Lawrence Shanklin, but the skipper gets the ball under control. Searches for your frustration. Kizaridis on the right hand side, up against Freckleton. He jinks in and out, eventually forced onto his right foot on the outside, but the defender deflects behind for a corner kick, sorry. Um, yeah, the two of them are a handful. Um, but is that just our way of saying that they need to sharpen up offensively? Like, what? I
I
don't
think
really
they're
know
just
how to
going through a
describe it.
natural, like, wee dip into in front of goal. Braga's not really. Braga's been getting
No,
goals still. But I just like it's weird. I
but
think
he's either the best player on the park or just like it's just I'm going to say average because his defensive work makes up for his lack of offensive output in certain games.
I think Kizaridis is a better footballer than Braga, but Braga's a better football player than Kizzy.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I'd go along with that.
And like I think Braga has been better for us this season than Kizaridis, whereas I think a lot of people might disagree with that because Kizzy kind of you think of more things that that Kizzy's done.
Because he's kind of glitz and glamour, whereas
Yeah,
Braga's just hard work and like
yeah.
he put yeah, that's a good summary. We mentioned Claudio Braga. He initially receives from Craig Halkett on 55 minutes, loses out to a few Saints players. However, he and Blair Spittle win possession back again. Our number 10 goes down the outside, beats McMenamin and Fraser in a foot race, centres for Shankland, as you said. It's a fantastic ball in. The skipper stabs towards goal, but it's a decent enough stop from the onrushing George to deny the captain. Um, as time went on, McIver, you did feel as though we weren't gonna break that
Yeah.
seal. It would be held at home. But thankfully, Hearts would take the lead on the hour mark. Cammy Devlin and Craig Halkett win the ball on the edge of the centre circle. It's worked out to Harry Milne at left back before he opts to send back inside towards Devlin. I, I can appreciate Cammy Devlin wanting to have a pop. It wouldn't be my first choice. However, here it works because Cammy shapes up to shoot. His efforts blocked by Richard Kine, but Blair Spittle does really well
Yeah.
to win it back. Exchanges a 1-2 with Kizaridis on the edge of the box. Continues his run on the outside, and just as Lawrence Shanklin peels off his marker, Spittle cuts back for our number 9, who does what he does, a phenomenal finish, is rolled into the far corner, and thankfully the gates are open and the 10 men are in front.
Spittle does so well.
So well.
It's so good. And it's one of the cutbacks that as soon as Shankly makes contact with it, you hear folks start to celebrate because it's
Yeah,
just like you
they
just
know.
know,
Yeah.
it's absolutely fair play to Spittle. And I'll be honest, right? See, at that point, I kind of was like, I think we've won this now.
Yeah,
Because they just
one will
weren't
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just were not threatening. And any balls they put, it wasn't Dundee felt like a war of attrition that we were
Yeah.
withstanding like a blockade, namely through Craig Halkett head and everything.
I mean,
Whereas that felt like it was just kind of like a game of football.
I know I don't want to disrespect Craig Gordon. I wouldn't dream of it, but it didn't feel like he had a save to make, really.
He literally only had
Do
two,
you
and
know
they
what I
both
mean?
came in the last 7 minutes.
I mean, he probably should have won on 62 minutes, as just a few minutes later, the
Yeah.
raucous home crowd that you mentioned was nearly silenced. Declan John sends a cracking corner kick into the area, which is headed narrowly wide by Alex Gogic, and it's right down my side. I thought it was him. I think it maybe comes off Dan and Lundaloo as well, but
Yeah, I think so. Aye.
thankfully the net does not bulge. And that hammer thrower, Killian Phillips sent an effort wide of his right hand post after receiving from substitute Malik Dijksteel a couple of minutes later. Hearts then ring the changes. Off comes Braga for Kabore. Off come both Spittle and Kizaridis for Jamie McCart and Thomas Magnuson. And the skipper's then replaced by your mate Frankie Kent. And 10 minutes from time, thankfully, we wrap up all 3 points. Michael Steinvender's throw on the Wheatfield side finds Kabore, who, again, excellent off the bench,
Yes,
looking to do
so
the
good.
dirty work up front. He could be the best super sub that doesn't score goals
Ken, what I
in world
want him to
football.
be though, I
Go
was
on.
saying this on Saturday night. I want to turn Kabore with what Newcastle did with Joelinton, where it's like he's not a striker, just get him in the middle of the park, winning loads of balls, tough tackling, and playing it out. I think he'd be class at that.
So wait, so hold on a minute. With this midfield crisis that Hearts currently have
Get
ahead of
Kabore
the
in the middle of the
weekend,
park.
imagine his first challenge is like he's won at Dens
Oh, I mean,
on
but this
Callum
is what happened
McGregor.
with. Listen, I can tell you from personal experience, I was there watching Newcastle go down to 10 men. All the subs have been used. However, Eddie Howe moves Joe Linton into the middle of the park alongside, I think Jacob Murphy was also playing centre mid and one of the long staffs. I think it was Matty, the shite one. And it was a revelation, an utter revelation. And we never looked back. Let's do that with Kabore because I don't think he's ever going to score properly for us. So let's just get him. He wins everything.
And the madman flicked it inside as Marcus Fraser intervenes before Thomas Magnuson eventually dispossesses him. The Icelandic midfielder slides it to Harry Milne, who looks to bend into the bottom corner. Shamal George spills it, but it bounces up and in the air. Thomas Magnuson heads home the rebound. Heart of Midlothian 2, St Mirren nil. Job done, despite that numerical disadvantage. Come on.
Magnuson finally wins a header because it's just in front of him with an open goal.
I know. He actually enrages me one week and then fully captures me the next.
Yeah. And in this case, it was in the same week that he did that. Three times
Yes.
we saw it. He went from shite to class to shite. I don't understand him. He's a maverick, and it makes me like him a bit.
I know.
Um,
I know. Again, does he fall into the Steinvender Kabangu territory of
yeah,
just can't help but have that soft spot?
maybe Kabanga's come out that now, but
I know I didn't want to say that, but no matter. But yeah, as you say, a fantastic 3 points, a fantastic atmosphere,
yeah,
really, really pleasing
biggest three
evening.
points of the biggest 3 points of the season. However,
As the gaffer said, and even despite Celtic's annoying win on the same night, that felt like a big, big step.
you've not mentioned though the one part that all of it was world class, but I also think it is the game that will cost us winning a league.
As on 90 minutes, Cammy Devlin is substituted. Very rarely does that happen unless he's on a booking, as he tends to get booked
Yep.
from time to time. But Killian Phillips, you know exactly what you're doing. You are a fucking scumbag.
I don't think Phillips knows what he's doing because
He
the
does.
way
He's a
he kind
fucking
of
hammer thrower.
he
No, he no.
falls.
No,
I no. Do you know what I think he's
I'm
doing?
not buying this. 100% he knows what he's doing. He's
No,
fucking at it. Every single time at Tynecastle that we've seen Killian Phillips play, he's left a challenge on somebody. He's a fucking arsehole.
I think he's going for Milne. I don't think he's
Oh, do
going
you?
for Devlin. I think when you watch
Either
it
way.
back, he's going for Milne, but he's too shit at football to actually be able to connect with him. So he just ends up hitting Cammy. And listen, we are obviously both in the new stand, so we can't fucking see anything that's happening in the tunnel. But he clearly denies a stretcher and goes to hobble off. But apparently, if you were in the wheat field and you're looking down the tunnel, you saw him get into the tunnel and then basically get picked up and carried to the dressing room. And I mean, like, I feel like at that point, it was the writing was on the wall. 6 to 8 weeks. I think that's it. I think that is the thing that will cost us because he has, without a shadow of a doubt, not only been our best player, been the league's best player this season. And there is nobody else that replicates what he does. And for my money, I know we have a big squad. We need to replace him. It can be a short term loan until the end of the season, a year deal for somebody who's in their mid 30s.
A Uruguayan free agent that just so
Yeah,
happens to be kicking
exactly.
about and
Yeah,
has a wealth of experience as the talk.
we need to replace him, especially with Benny being suspended, especially with Aju coming back for fitness,
Is
especially
McAtee
when
going to play?
yeah, with Neuenhoff getting a new injury and will
Who?
never play for us again. Yeah, he just won't.
It does make me laugh when people say about 6 to 8 weeks for Cammy Devil. It'll probably be 6 to 8 weeks, knowing our
Yeah,
luck.
like
Like, we'll never see him again. And it's all thanks to that fucking rat bastard in the middle of the park for St Mirren. I hate him.
But we were carrying big momentum through to the Scottish Cup.
We were, but prior to us playing in the Scottish Cup, a couple of announcements were made with one incoming transfer again for the summer and one departing transfer,
Yeah.
a player that we won't see till the summer. As first, Heart Midlothian were pleased to announce that Josh McPake will join the club in the summer. The winger has agreed to make the move to Tynecastle Park upon the expiration of his current contract with St Johnstone. A pacey and tricky wide man, 24-year-old Josh has been a revelation for the Perth Saints this season. The Championship's top scorer, he's bagged 14 goals in 26 appearances to date, which has helped fire St Johnstone 5 points clear at the top of the table. And come the end of the season, Josh will swap blue for maroon when he joins the Jambos for the next 3 years. Happy with that, McIver? Because it had been rumoured for a while. I think
Aye.
Park Standard had reported it,
We'd
the
come-
record, and whoever had leapt upon
McInnes
it. So,
had basically confirmed it a few weeks ago.
yeah.
Aye.
So I don't know why. They've obviously ironed out the formalities and then just decided to
I
announce it as
think
and
what the discussion was whether or not he'll come this month.
when. Yeah.
Because St
Interesting.
Johnstone, in their statement, said, we can confirm that Josh McPake has joined Heart Midlothian in the summer in the pre-contract. Josh will stay in
Yeah.
Perth until the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe. Alan Forrest doesn't fancy the swap.
No. I feel like 3 years is maybe a wee bit of a long time.
Only
But-
24.
Oh, well then, fair play. I think I had it in my head he was like 26, 27. So fair play.
I think it's just the fact that he's had about 20 clubs
Yeah.
by the time he's turned 24. But again, no fee required on the Bosman. I know that much because
Yeah,
he's over
no
23.
fee.
So
He'll be low wages. Fair play.
it's Alan Forrest's replacement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a squad player replacement. And he's doing very well for St Johnstone. So long may that continue.
That he is. And somebody that looked as though they were doing really well when playing in the Scottish Cup against Dundee was Sander Khartoum, who has joined A-League side Wellington Phoenix on loan. Right in saying that's Cammy Devlin's
Cammy
former
Devlin.
club.
Yep.
Yeah. The Norwegian midfielder moves to New Zealand until June, subject to international clearance and Scottish FA approval. 30-year-old Sander arrived at Hearts in January 2025, went on to make 17 appearances, scoring 2 goals, both of which came in that win against Dundee in the Scottish Cup quarter-final last season.
Yeah.
Everyone at Hearts wishes Sander the best of luck in Wellington. Given our shortages in midfield, McIver, was this wise?
No, we should do a Ross and Rachel I got off the plane style thing and just keep him here forever. Stop him getting on the flight. Because, yeah, we need him now. We fucking need him. I like Sander Khartoum. I think he offers something different. I think in the kind of more advanced, in the 3 that we've been put in the kind of Magnuson role, he would have done all right. But I do take the point that he's quite weak and he doesn't look up to the pace.
He's 30 years old. He's kicking on a bit.
Aye.
Yeah.
I feel for him a lot.
It's a Jamestown signing that has no sell on, which makes you wonder how much of a Jamestown signing actually was it.
Especially because it was a Critchley signing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was something there. I just don't think Scottish football's for him. And
No.
that's fair enough.
We'll always have
I don't think it
Dundee,
fits.
where you
We'll
scored 2 fucking rakers.
Yeah. Two of the best goals I've seen in Tynecastle.
Yeah.
They're 2 absolute crackers. Yes. All the very best down
Aye,
under.
fair play.
And in NZ, Sander. We usually go around the grounds. I kind of want to. I kind of can't be bothered because I'm aware that time's marching on.
Aye.
We're out the Scottish Cup anyway.
Thank fuck Hibs are out as well. I don't care how
just
petty
talk
it
about
is.
that.
I
Yeah.
don't care how ridiculous to some folk it is. It makes me feel better that we're out the cup that they are as well. And I'll be honest, I think everybody of a Hearts and Hibs persuasion thinks the same about each other.
100%. It's not even like a genuine delight that they're out. It's just relief that they
Yeah.
can't win it.
Let's get
Now-
the derby on the Tuesday, move to the free weekend.
That's never going to happen because
it's
it's been moved
not.
a couple of times already. But
Let's just have a laugh. It'll be
amazing.
great.
Imagine that as opposed to a Tuesday night derby.
Can't be arsed.
What? Who do we want a particular team to win the Scottish Cup now?
Falkirk. I want Falkirk to win it now. And they've got St Mirren, so they're going to progress.
Well, a great one for Stenny against Morton. Gary Naismith's doing a wonderful job.
I
at
love
Stennis
Gary
here.
Naismith so much.
He really is. Could you imagine, Christ, if we crashed out on penalty kicks to both cup winners
It
in the
would make
same
me feel a
season?
bit better, I'll be
In
honest.
the same season. Oh my God, I feel sick.
Yeah,
Um,
listen,
I
let's
want
know.
Motherwell to win it. Why not?
Aye, fuck it, either of them.
Because then Aberdeen are going out because that's who
Yep,
they've got in the next round.
yep,
And I just think for the manager, for the way they play,
yeah.
yeah, let them do it.
Come on,
Come on the
let's
well.
go. Um,
But yeah, I don't
let's
really care
let's
otherwise.
let's be honest. This game is not a game that we need to go through and analyze highlight by highlight. We just here's my
Okay,
summary,
I'm
right?
glad you said it.
Yeah,
Well, do you want to talk about the team first? Because there was five
yeah,
changes from
yeah.
from the St Mirren win in the midweek match to take on Falkirk. Alexander Swallow came back in for Craig Gordon in goal. Jordi Altena took the suspended Michael Steinwender's place at a right back. Frankie Kent took Stuart Finley's place in the heart of the defence to join Craig Halkett. Jamie McCart replaced the suspended Cammy Devlin at left back, with Harry Milne then moving into midfield. And Thomas Magnuson joined Benny Beningame in the middle of the park, replacing Blair Spittle, with perhaps the biggest headline being that the front three were unchanged. That meant the Hearts lined up as follows in that 4-3-3 was Swallow in goal, back four of Altena, Halkett, Kent and McCart, Magnuson, Beningame and Milne in the middle of the park, with Braga and Kizaridis supporting Shankland once again. On the bench, Gordon, Kabangu, Kabori, Spittle, Forrest, Finlay, Kerjota, Adam Forrester and Islam Chesnikov.
I
Thoughts?
said when the team came out, I said if we win, this was genius. If we lose, this is a disaster. Because why are we starting after two games where we played majority of them with 10 men? Why are we starting Halkett, Braga, Shankland, Kizzy again? Especially when two of them are not known for just staying fit all the time.
Fair point.
I know, I think it was McKinnon said it was like apparently Finlay had a wee knock, so that's why he was dropped. But then just play Milne at left back, play
Shove McCart in the middle.
McCart and Kent, play Spittle in the centre, and start Kerjota because he exists. I've now reached a complete impasse there with Kerjota.
He's never going to make it here. And it's a shame because we've seen glimpses.
Not just glimpses. I feel like basically every time he's came onto the park, he's looked good. There was like one exception. And I take McInnes's point. He's struggling to adapt. He's struggling to settle. But I would argue a big way to make someone adapt and settle into a new place, city, team is to let them play as a part of that team, not just in training. And I know, obviously, I'm not seeing the inner workings of training and stuff like that. But bluntly, I couldn't give a fuck how people train if they then perform well in games. Yes, it's totally different if people are like bad in training.
Maradonas and then
yeah,
go
exactly,
missing,
and whatever. Whereas Kerjota, the best moment of this season is caused by Saba Kerjota, right? Like, without him, it doesn't happen.
When you actually deep it, yeah, I can't disagree.
That is like, for me, that's enough to let him start in a Scottish Cup game at home in the first round. And then if he's shit, and if it's like 50 minutes and he's done nothing, we've got the big shiny new signing on the bench that we can bring on.
Oh, I really don't want to talk about his debut.
No.
Oh.
I will be honest, the main
Yikes.
thing that I saw was, oh my God, Adam Forrester's back. How are we still here?
But then St Johnstone were knocked out the cup early, so I'm thinking that he'll go back to St Johnston.
Yeah, imagine being
Anyway.
a player in these co-op loans where you just never know where you're going to be each Saturday.
He's driving to training in Perth one morning and then just gets told, no, if you just want to do a UE on
Well,
the on the
that's
M9.
apparently what happened on the Friday because Borchgrevink has got hurt again.
Well, I'm glad you said this because I then thought that's him done. Like, if Adam Forrester's come back and is now ahead of you in the pecking order,
Well, I think
you ain't gonna
Borchgrevink's
make it
done
here.
because he's
Anyway.
now got hurt again. So I think we'll look to move him on in the summer.
That's a shame as well.
Yeah, because he looks good. He's
Actually,
just-
see when you break it down, like the squad is big, but my God, we're using like the same 15, 16 players
and
week to week.
that is kind of the one bit of criticism that I feel like is coming out of this game, where it's like, obviously, with hindsight, players like Kabangu, Chesnikov, stuff like that did not perform well. Spittle, but they need to have some form of game time before being dropped into a crowd. I know the reason we're not playing Kabangu is because this fucking phantom move that is apparently happening this summer at a championship club. We don't
I
want to get
think we're
hurt.
more likely to sign for a championship club in this window than he is.
I just don't think it's happening now because it would have happened by now, 3 weeks into the window. So play him.
If we can shift him on and then Mato will come in, is that just the
that's
lie
fine.
of the land?
But we should have still been giving Kabangu more minutes if we were going to rely on him in these moments.
You got James Wilson there as well, who didn't feature on the bench here, but again, is that so he's not cup tied for a potential future employer? What's happening? Like
if that's the justification, fine. But you then have to accept that it could be part of the reason we've now exited the cup because you're not rotating enough. These guys you said it to me at half time. From half time onwards, everybody looked out on their feet.
Yeah, no, they did. They did. It wasn't actually a great game, to be honest.
Nah.
I do think Falkirk had the better of it. I thought the Falkirk support was fantastic.
Excellent.
Really, really strong showing from the Bairns fans. Good to have them back at the top flight, isn't it? Because they've offered something different this season. They've been really good in the Premiership. Big club by Scottish standards, Falkirk. So it is nice to have them.
I lived in Stirling.
Back where they belong, really.
I lived in Stirling for 4.5 years. So I met a lot of people that were Falkirk fans that were going through it at the time because I was living in Stirling between 2015 and 2019. So it was not a prosperous time for the
dark
Bairns.
age.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I always wanted them to do well. And I feel like a part of it is because John McGlynn's a manager. Like, I just love him so much.
That is how I consoled myself on Saturday. I thought, you know what? John McGlynn's happy, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I can't be happy, but if John McGlynn's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, first half, really not a lot of action.
No.
It's only really when we get into the second half.
Where Falkirk made a triple change at half-time and nobody expected it. Because it felt like it was quite even, and then out of nowhere it was just like, Falkirk have changed a quarter of their team.
Yeah, that was ballsy from the main man, but...
it worked, because the subs combined.
A degenerate gambler like myself, and it's paid off for him. But you say that, but I and everybody else thought that Hearts had actually taken the lead in this game.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. I forgot this happened first.
On 52 minutes, Jordi Altera's free kick is hoisted into the Bairns box from pretty much the halfway line. Jamie McCart heads on before Philip Lisa and Dylan Tate get in one another's way. Thomas Magnuson is also on the scene and stabs home from inside the 6-yard box.
It only scores shite goals.
It's untidy, it's scrappy, it's ugly, but we don't care as we think we're ahead till you then see what you see. Liam Henderson and Dylan Tate, by the way, both adamant that it's handballed by Magnuson before he bundles it home, having basically done... He's basically juggling, really.
Yeah.
And Andrew Dallas on VAR decides to get involved. My annoyance isn't necessarily that VAR intervenes. My annoyance is that it's not on the go in other fourth-round ties, just the ones that are televised.
Yeah.
That can't happen for me.
Yeah,
like that's
definitely.
a nonsense.
Yeah.
And I would say this if this went in our favour, like it's so harsh because the draws happen the way it's happened. It's not Falkirk's fault that they got us at Tynecastle. Like Spartans knocked out Inverness on pens, and they're the only Edinburgh club left in the competition. Yeah. But like, you're not telling me that you're going to go up to fucking Ainsley Park and install it. I mean, you can look out the window and tell us.
I'll do it. I'll lean out the window and I'll install it for 100 quid.
You could just record it on your camera like that.
Yeah, I could be the VAR. I've got a live stream of the game. It's fine.
What's your thoughts on the goal disallowed for that suspected handball?
It's a handball.
It is, isn't it?
It's a handball. I haven't heard it because I was watching Hearts TV, but apparently Michael Stewart embarrasses himself.
He does.
By the way.
It's on the YouTube highlights. He talks about it.
Right. Okay, I'll need to watch them back.
I think it's Premier or it might be
Premier. It was Premier. Yeah. It's a handball. There's discussion about whether or not Lisa and Tate handball at themselves beforehand. I don't think so. I think their hands are by their side and there's not really much you can
Natural
do.
positions, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Magnuson literally just uses his right forearm to push it into the path of his left foot. It's a handball. Not for me, Clive, in terms of a VAR error.
On 58 minutes, Blair Spittle replaces Jamie McCart with Harry Milne going back to left back as you wanted. However, having just come on the park, Spittle doesn't exactly cover himself in glory as
No.
we're punished up the other end minutes after Magson's howler. Philip Lisa, who I've watched a couple of times now, very good.
It's
On
really
loan from
good.
Swansea, takes a Falkirk throw on the main stand side, exchanges a give and go with Henry Cartwright. The fullback just leaves Blair Spittle for dead.
Yep.
Finds fellow new arrival and substitute striker Ben Parkinson in the area. And the former Newcastle United striker McIver scores what appears to be his first senior goal.
Yep.
It's a striker's finish. It's made by Lisa in that wide area, and it's really shit from a Hearts perspective and from Blair Spittle's perspective in particular.
Yeah. Just really terrible. And this is what I mean. It's like start him so he's not just coming in and having to suddenly react to something like that. I still don't think it's really excusable, but I can understand if he turned around and go, all right, okay, so I put in a really good performance midweek. I'm rewarded by being dropped to the bench for an out of position player and then have to just be chucked in and then suddenly get blamed for what's happening.
And I do get that, but equally, then, are we looking at the Celtic game and thinking, right, well, if Benny's suspended, Cammy Devlin's out injured, we have to find some solution for the middle of the park. Could Harry Milne be the answer? Let's test it out against Falkirk, see how we get on, because I know that I can rely on Jamie McCart at left back, albeit I'd want Stephen Kingsley, but he's unfortunately also injured. And there is our solution to what is a massive game in the Premiership this weekend. I get where you're coming from and I hear it, but equally, I think had we not found a solution for the now, I don't think Harry Milne was great in central midfield, but we've tried it out. I think if we hadn't found a solution for the Celtic game, I probably yourself would be amongst the first to criticise, going, how can the squad be this big, but we haven't? All it takes is a couple injuries and suspensions, and all of a sudden we haven't found a solution. I don't know. Like I'm trying to cut the manager some slack here. I agree that it is annoying. I agree that the team looked fatigued. They looked on their arse. They looked dead and buried. But we are needing to find some kind of, rectification for what is probably the biggest league game of the season upcoming.
I get that, but I would say I'd be more concerned with Jamie McCart at left back and Harry Milne in the middle of the pitch than Harry Milne at left back and Blair Spittle in the middle of the pitch against Celtic.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And it's this one, like, my stance on this game is just, fuck. We're at another cup. How is this squad doing these things going out in the cup?
In the first noteworthy hurdle as well.
Yeah, exactly. And penalties and both things. I'm not here to stick the boot into McInnes like I've seen some people do. Kind of like this weird shit where as soon as we don't just win every game, folk are like, right, honeymoon's over. It's like, what? We're class. It's just there's context.
Because some haven't taken to it from the get go, and you can tell there's people that are actively waiting for the minute that Hearts fuck up to be the first to say, "I told you so." Like that's just, I think,
believe
that's just
me,
human nature.
as a man who didn't want Derek McInnes for like 12 years, I should be the first one, but I'm not.
You swallowed your pride. You now accept that. Yes, he's had the backing through JTA and Tony Bloom,
but he's been
it's
fucking
great.
exceptional. Yeah. He's just having. I just have critiques, and I'm like, it's frustrating. I imagine for him, it's really annoying that the worst results are happening in knockout games.
Yeah. Because ultimately, even the times that we've lost in the league, we've bounced back there and then, in kind of the very next games. Whereas here, we're obviously not given that luxury. So
I still love you, Dale. Just stop. Just be a bit more. Use your squad, please.
But also, there's players that he clearly doesn't fancy, and he has inherited a shit season last year
Yeah.
with players that just need to go. Like that, you look at kind of the backup brigade, and I'll gladly wave goodbye to a good number of them. It's like, yep, thank you, we're beyond you now. Thanks for your service, but catch you after.
I will say, because it would be hypocritical for me not to. I thought Frankie Kent was fantastic. I thought he was
Yes,
really
thanks.
good. I think he did it.
That's
There was
nice from
one
you.
moment. There was one moment in the first half where he like engaged where he shouldn't have. But apart from that, I thought he was like really solid. I still would like him to leave the club, but I'll give him his flowers for that game where we eventually ended up losing, so no one will remember it anyway.
Do you know what, McIver? That's ballsy of you. That's
Thank you.
that's fair play. Um, I really there's not a lot of chances to discuss, but
We equalise through the end, but let's speak about the man that
no,
is the reason we end up equalising.
yes, because he comes on 77 minutes. Islam Chesnikov's finally here. All our prayers have been answered if you've asked the vast majority of our online fans. And the 10,000 Kazakhs that just now spawn in our Instagram comments. What is that like? But the admin's just going, oh my fucking God. I think Hearts Fallen is genuinely rocketed ever since he signed. But yes, he does make
The
his
law
long
of
way
unfollowed now
here.
after watching how he got on.
Yeah. um, but yes, he replaces Altona with Thomas Magnuson going to right back again. Questionable. Um, but the irony is, on 84 minutes, Scott Bain's goal kick is headed forward by Thomas Magnuson. Liam Henderson gathers before playing a 1-2 with Brad Spencer. He clears up the park for your mate Frankie Kent to nod to centre back partner Stuart Finlay, who's come on for
Halkett.
Halkett, sorry, on 69 minutes. The former Kelly defender sprays out to Milne at left back, who sends a lovely diagonal ball Islam Chesnikov's way. His first touch is questionable. He knees it off his marker, Leon McCann, before driving beyond the fullback, which is great. Like to see that. Our new number 99 is taken down in the area, and Nick Walsh has the easiest decision of his entire evening. Penalty kick to Hearts, which thankfully our skipper steps up, takes, and scores down the middle as Scott Bain dives to the right hand side, keeps Hearts alive in the Scottish Cup. Heart of Midlothian 1, Falkirk 1.
I can't believe how bad Chesnikov was. I am not making anything even remotely close to a judgment. The guy hasn't played in like 80 something days. It's been the most hyped thing ever. We're in a shit situation when he comes on. There's a load of
I
pressure.
actually think it could be our most hyped signing in years. Probably
Since
since
Vanacek.
Oshaniwa. I was going to say since Oshaniwa because Vanacek, it was like, oh, okay,
Maybe.
excuse me,
Yeah.
comes from a dud league. Whereas this guy is on the international stage,
Yeah,
and
maybe.
he's the prayer to all our answers on the right hand side. And then I watched him play, and granted, I was intoxicated because an 8 o'clock kickoff. I'm going to take advantage of being in the pub all afternoon. But my goodness gracious me, he and the team quickly sobered me up on
That's the
Saturday
thing.
afternoon.
He's also playing in a team that is out on its feet after having played
Yes,
2 games against 10
but
men.
he looks just as out on his feet.
Aye.
He played for 5 minutes. I kid you not. And before you know it, he's the hunchback of Notre Dame, and his hands are on his knees because he's fucked.
Yeah. He really, it was a debut to forget. I will say, his winning of the penalty is exactly what I was talking about earlier about bragging Kazidis. He shows really intelligent play to be like,
Yes,
I'm going nowhere. I'm just going back into this defender who's going to take me out. Well done, Islam. More of that, please.
we liked that of the first
Less
touch.
of passing straight out of play, being unable to control it when the ball's moving, and just kind of
Yeah.
generally looking exhausted.
If you could build up your fitness, you'd be a hell of a player.
Yeah. I
And work on that
believe in
first
him
touch.
for Sunday. Come on. You can do
Wow.
this.
That sharp a rebound.
Yes, because we'll
A
be playing
turnaround, I
against a
should say.
team that is pushing us, pressing us, and can give us space in behind.
Oof. I like it.
I'm standing with Islam Chesnikov. Come on.
That's bold. I like it. Extra time. Not a lot really happens.
Nothing.
Lawrence,
What is
Lawrence
the point in
Shankland
extra
comes
time?
off.
Just go to pens.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the stage now where I think, particularly in kind of Europe's elite level, if teams are playing 50, 60 games a season, is there any real need for extra
No.
time? Like, I'm with you. And again, like, games are boring now. You'd be as well just spicing it up with a fucking penalty shootout. If it ends
Or
0-0 after 90 minutes, I want to see the net bulge at some stage. Just go straight to pens.
golden goal extra time.
Golden goal. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, that's the only way.
2002 World Cup. Let's go.
The only way it'll be excused, the modern game, is if they bring back golden goal. So we have to see something. However, Lawrence Shankland appears to limp off on 96 minutes for the Rocket Man, Elton Kabangu. And Adam Forrester gets 15 minutes as he comes on for Thomas Magnuson.
He was actually
right back.
all right, by the way. Forrester was
okay.
actually all right.
He was okay. But, I mean, Falkirk missed a sitter on 115 minutes. And it's actually a slack pass from Forrester. Leo McCann eventually receives down the left-hand side, centres before it's bouncing around in the area. It comes off Frankie Kent. It appears to come off Ben Parkinson. It eventually drops for substitute Louis Marsh, who somehow can't convert from close range. He smashes towards goal. The ball basically cannons off Swallow, who I don't think knows a heck of a lot about it. Benny Beringame intercepts. Stuart Finlay eventually hacks clear. Hearts hang on, and we head for penalty kicks. Blair
I knew he'd missed as he put the ball down.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about any of the others? No. Just, Elton Kabangu was selected as Hearts' fourth penalty taker. Blasts high and wide. Poor penalty. Scott Bain moved in the wrong direction, but ultimately, doesn't matter.
I was watching on TV, as I say, so there's a close-up, and when he puts the ball down, his foot slips. And I out loud went, he's missing.
Yeah, I turned to my friend and said, I'm not confident in
this. I knew he was missing.
I'm not confident in Kabangu, and I like Kabangu. I've got a soft spot, but
yeah,
that was
just
not. Again, like the fact that you know that it goes to pens and your number one penalty taker has been taken off the park again. Also, and Falkirk basically made changes for their pens. They brought Brian Graham on, like whoever else. That was very much a case of, we quite fancy ourselves in the shootout, whereas Hearts were like doing anything that we could to not make ourselves favourites in Century. But it
was really bad, and as I say, I hope it's not the fork in the road that ruins everything. Benny got hurt as a result in it. Shankland got hurt. 120 minutes into legs. Further suspensions, further injuries.
And even a narrow loss. I mean, it's 5-4 on pens. Like, it happens. I'm aware that time is marching on, but there is, as we've alluded to numerous times, a massive, massive game coming up this weekend. All I'm going to ask you, because of all our injuries, is your starting 11 and a score prediction, because everybody knows that we take on Celtic. Everybody knows that we could move 9 points clear. Everybody knows that they could cut the gap to 3 points. Hearts Celtic at Tynecastle needs no introduction because it's one of the fixtures that everybody looks out for in the Scottish football calendar. So give me your thoughts ahead of the latest edition.
This is with the mindset that we will not have Cammy, Benny, Shankland or McEntee.
That is a daunting, daunting thought.
Yeah. Swallow in goals. A back four of Milne, Findlay, Halkett, Altena. A four of Kizzy on the left, Chesnikov on the right, Magnuson, Spittle, Kabori and Braga.
I actually don't mind that.
That's what I'd do.
Don't mind that. I'd be inclined to bring Steinwender in for Altena, but again, it depends on personal preference. Are we looking to I suppose he and Milne could both bomb on. Or if you're wanting that little bit more.
You could also play Steinwender at right back and swap Magnuson Spittle with Altena.
Only reason I say is because the last time Celtic came to Tynecastle, their goal came down that left-hand side, didn't it?
Yeah,
so
it did.
That's maybe why you'd select a Steinwender as opposed to Altena. But again, I'm not fussy either way. Score?
2-1 Celtic.
Don't do that, mate.
It's happening.
No, don't.
I think this is the end.
I think it's going to be close regardless because they're not in great shakes. I mean, they're not. Going by.
If we had Devlin and Shankland, we'd win. I'd be confident that we'd win.
Because I didn't watch the game against Talbot, but by all accounts, it was a struggle. So
if we had Devlin and Shankland, I think we would have won. But I don't think we'll have either.
I'm trying to be as positive as I can here. Is a 1-1 draw positive enough?
Yeah, Like 100%. See if we don't lose the game. And
Just
I
don't
would
get beat.
stretch it.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as we don't lose to, I know this is such a big ask, but as long as we don't lose to the Old Firm, whether that's a win or a draw, it's a good result. Keeping our points total the same or extending it is massive. They need to win this. We just need to not lose it.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shitbag mentality, but again, it's
I don't
circumstantial,
care.
isn't
That's
it?
how you
Because
win
of
leagues. Like,
well, not even that it's how you win leagues, but I just think circumstantially,
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
we'd settle for right now.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I'll go one each, and I'll be some random scorer, maybe Halkett.
I'll go Kabori just because I've said he should be a centre mid, and then he'll end up scoring.
Listen, would love a winner off the bench. That will do me just fine. Imagine. But before we go, we've got the end is near quiz. I say the end is near. This could be a long one, depending on how MacIver gets on in the Who Am I. You
Oh
have a
god.
true or false. You have some other questions that may or may not be multiple choices. They're there if you need them.
Okay.
Before we end with the Who Am I. Your first question is actually the true or false.
Okay.
After victory over St Mirren, the Jambos are unbeaten in 13 Scottish Premiership matches at Tynecastle. True or false, we haven't seen a longer unbeaten streak in the top flight this century.
I don't think we did it in '05. I don't think we went 13. I'm going to say true because I think we did do it in the championship. Or when did we? When did Falkirk came around January? So maybe we didn't have it. I'm going to say true. This is the longest streak.
I mean, this question applies to the top flight, but it's false anyway, as
Ah.
surprisingly, Hearts last went longer without defeating the top flight in a run of 16 games between.
Was it when we came up and finished third?
No.
When? '02.
January to October 2004.
What? The
I know.
03, '04, '04, '05
Well, no,
bridge.
think about it. It's the end of 02, 03. No, sorry. The
Yeah,
end of
03,
03, 04
'04.
to yeah, 04, 05. Yeah. I couldn't
What?
believe that when I read
What a
that.
random
I
time to
know.
do that.
I know. Mental.
Fair play.
Question number two. Derek McInnes has managed 17 home matches against St Mirren with 4 different clubs in the top flight. How many of these has he lost? You have multiple choice should you need it.
Shit. Because I think I saw a stat that he'd never lost to Falkirk. And then this was the game that he'd lost them. What are the options? Because if zero's an option, I'm taking it because my brain went
Th-
zero.
This is against St Mirren, remember?
Yeah, I
The
know.
four
That's what
different
I'm
clubs.
saying. I
All
was
right,
like, I
sorry.
wish he'd said Falkirk because I feel like I'd heard that.
A, 0.
Fuck it.
B,
I'm going zero because I
1.
think that's in my head.
C,
Zero.
2. D, 3. The answer is, in fact, 0. You are correct.
Yeah.
He is unbeaten at home. It's a crazy record. St
Unbelievable. I knew he
Johnstone,
was good against St Mirren,
St
but
Mirren,
wow.
despite being born in Paisley. St Johnstone, 4 games, 2 wins, 2 draws. Aberdeen, 8 games, 5 wins, 3 draws. Killie, 4 wins. 4 games, 2 wins, 2 draws. And Hearts now a 100% record. There you
Jesus.
go. Question number 3. Hearts have seemingly signed Rogers Mato on a pre-contract. How many Uganda internationals have previously played for the Jambos?
Are you counting him?
How many have previously played
Previously,
for the
sir.
Jambos? So no.
That I know of, two.
Incorrect, Daniel McIver.
Fuck. Who apart from Obua and Civic?
Uche Ikpeazu.
Oh, is he Ugandan?
He plays for Uganda as well.
Didn't know that.
I think he was. I think he was away at AFCON as well. I'm pretty sure.
Fair play, Uche. Didn't know
Somehow
that.
the big fella on yourself could do
Fair
with
play,
could do with
mate.
a kind of battering ram like him.
Aye.
Celtic on Sunday. He
Yeah.
actually loved the Celtic games.
He did. He loved to sit. Oh, he was so good. That my 21st when Berra's hamstring detonated and he set up Lafferty.
The big fella. What a guy. Question number 4. How many different clubs have won the Scottish Cup since Hearts last got their hands on the trophy?
Jesus. Right. Hibs, Rangers,
Do you-
Celtic, St
do you want
Johnstone,
multiple choice?
Inverness. Did Inverness win it? Yeah, they beat Falkirk. That's five. Yeah, give me multiple choice.
A, 3, B, 4,
Go with five.
C, 5, D,
I
6.
can't think of a sixth, so I'm going. Oh no, six, because Aberdeen. Six.
You've luckily saved yourself there as it's in fact
Yeah,
6.
I nearly forgot the holders.
Reel them off again.
Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, St Johnston, Inverness, Aberdeen.
Bang on the money. Very good.
Get it? That's
Yeah.
not the order they won. I mean, like,
No. No, it was merely to check that you'd got all six
Yeah.
teams. Very good. Which leads us on,
Oh
McIver, to the Who
God.
Am I? I am stunned. I repeat, stunned that we have not done this man before.
Okay. So I should
So
know who it is at least.
you
It's
should,
not another
yeah.
ridiculous made-up goalkeeper that's never
No,
played for us.
I've double and triple checked the list. I feel like
Okay.
Santa in the run up to Christmas. I'm fairly certain
You're a
he's
bit
not
late.
there. I've even done the find, the Command F to see
Yep.
if I can find this man's name. He is not there. So are you ready?
I am.
Despite not being British, I began my professional career in the UK. Heart of Midlothian were the third Scottish club of my career, having previously been on trial in France, England, Germany, and Switzerland. I was a historic signing for the Jambos, with my time in Gorgie considered a success, easy for me to say, until I moved on loan to a divisional rival and eventually departed overseas. I also played for two of the opposition teams that the men in Maroon have encountered or will encounter this month, winning a major trophy with one of them. I departed Hearts for Asia, but have since come back to the Scottish lower leagues and picked up two caps for my parents' country whilst elsewhere in Scotland. Who am I? I
What?
will I will get this man's Wikipedia up as you think away.
Two players came into my head, but as the clues went on, they didn't work
They were both
because
poo-pooed, okay?
Nadi first came up, but
Right.
he hadn't previously been at clubs and we didn't send him on loan. Then So came up, but he didn't go on loan. He's somebody, and then he didn't win a trophy at somebody else. Oh God.
This could be a cracker.
Gowser's another one that I thought of, but surely we didn't send Gowser on loan anywhere after he'd made his debut. We sent him on loan when he was younger, because that's when he met Ryan Stevenson, the famous story.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got tats everywhere.
yeah, fuck. Right. Well, that's three players I can immediately discount.
Good start.
But it's only a good start if you then have another name, but I don't. And it's like someone we should have done. And it was like a successful time. He's won the trophy elsewhere in the country. Presley's another one that I thought of, but he didn't go to Asia.
I mean, I did start with despite not being British as well, so
Oh,
Steve
yeah,
Presley
true.
would automatically rule you out, mate.
Right. What nation is this man from?
I like it. This man represented on the international stage recent AFCON winners, Senegal.
What? Right. Who the fuck?
What?
What? Right. That has thrown me. I was expecting a European. Right. I feel like there's no point in getting clubs because I don't think I'm going to know. Do I get a time period? Right. Think of African players that have played for us. Right. Doom. It's no him. Buabin. I don't think it's him. It's no Bua. He's Ugandan. Where was Ibrahim Tal from? I don't know. Gomes, but I don't think he was Senegalese. Ibrahim Tal surely can't have played for anybody else. Gomes did play for a lot of clubs, but I don't think Gomes was Senegalese. And also, I don't think we sent. Did we send Gomes out on loan? What was the clue about, sorry, the parents thing?
I departed Hearts for Asia, but have since come back to the Scottish lower leagues and picked up 2 caps for my parents' country whilst elsewhere in Scotland.
Oh, well, now I'm confused about the nation. Because what the fuck does that
Well,
mean?
that's why I said it. So I'll explain myself here. This man was born in France, in Paris, but he played internationally for Senegal. He's got
Sorry.
2 caps. He's got
Sorry.
two caps for the
I
Senegal
see what you
national
mean.
team
Who would have been.
because he qualifies through his
Yeah,
parents.
sorry, I get you now. Who would have been at us and played for Senegal? Because Senegal on the mugs. Like,
I'll give you a clue. It was before we signed him.
oh, okay.
This was
Okay.
when he was. This was when he was at the peak of his powers.
Okay. Oh, it might be Gomes, because Gomes has played for like Dumbarton and shit. Or was it Motherwell? Was he at Motherwell or was Brabham at Motherwell? Dundee United. Did we send him on loan to Dundee United or did we sell him to Dundee United? I feel like the clubs aren't going to help me because I don't know what we did with
They
Gomes
aren't going to
Brabham.
help you.
They're not.
Okay.
Because I don't know the order in which we get. I don't know if Gomes was at us before or after. But the 2 players I've got in my head is Gomes and because I don't know what nation he's from, Ibrahim Tal. And because both of them, I would say, is well, Ibrahim Tal's definitely successful, seeing as he literally won the cup with us. But Gomes is my favourite season ever is the 14-15 championship season. And he was part of like one of my favourite teams ever. That is technically things. So I want to find out if this is like 2014 to 2017, it's Morgano Gomez. So between what years did this man play for Hearts?
This man played for Hearts between 2014 and 2016.
Was he only here for 2 years? I thought he was here for way longer. It's Morgano Gomez. Unless El Hasanoui is for Senegal.
I think he's Moroccan,
Oh.
who
Oh,
Senegal
the
beat in the
irony!
AFCON. Yeah, there you go. It is in fact Morgaro Gomez. Yes.
Yes! Well, then,
Can't
come
believe we haven't
on.
done him. And
That is
I,
wild.
I think we had. I'm fairly certain we've done Ibrahim Tal.
Have we done
Um,
Brabham?
Tal, we've done 166.
Jesus,
Prince
ages ago.
Prince Bwabin, I'm certain we did as well because I thought I saw that. Eh,
We've no done Brabham. Guess what's happening next week?
no, we have 127.
Oh my
Prince Bwabin.
God, hundreds of years ago. No
I
wonder I
know,
did remember. That is wild that we did Brabham like a
but not
hundred and a
Gomez.
bit
I
episodes
know.
ago and not Gomez. Wow.
Yeah,
Fair play. I
two
loved
two
Gomez.
caps, 2 caps for Senegal in 2009. So he was at Dundee United then, and was part of their Scottish Cup winning team in 2010.
Did he ever play for Motherwell?
Yes, we loaned him to Motherwell.
Is that who we? I had it in my head that he
Yeah,
was at Motherwell, then we loaned him to Dundee United.
mental career, can I just say?
Was he at the
Windsor and
bar? Is he at the Barton?
listen to this: Windsor and Eton, Dagenham and Redbridge, back to Windsor and Eton, Barnet, Lewis, Cowdenbeath signed him in 2006. Then he got his move to Dundee United because I think Levine had taken the job at that stage. Then went down south to Birmingham, then back to United. Then we signed him as a free agent for being in the Championship, loaned him out to Motherwell after we'd been promoted to the Premiership. He then headed for Malaysia to play for Kelantan,
I didn't know.
to Oman with Sur SC, then came back to Scotland to play for Dundee United again, a third spell, Falkirk, Clyde, then went back to Malaysia to play for Kelantan United, and has been at East Stirlingshire for 2 years. And
He's
still
never
going,
played for Dumbarton.
never played for Dumbarton, but he's still going strong at 40 years of age. He turns 41 in July. What a man.
I
What a
love
player
him.
as well.
That Gomez and Brabham partnership is one of the best midfield
So
partnerships
good.
I've ever seen.
So, so good. I did want to say that he got sent off against Celtic. Do you remember it?
No, Gomez got sent off. He was the nicest man alive.
I think the season that we went up under Robbie,
Probably.
we got knocked out of the Scottish Cup fourth
Yes,
round
we did at
at home
Parkhead.
to no at home to Celtic. I think we played them in
At
the
home.
League Cup at Parkhead,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I
and
remember the away game.
so the game that we lost at Tynecastle to Celtic, he was sent off in following a
Wow, I
challenge on Scott Brown.
do not remember that. Well,
But I mean, to be fair,
that's a
it is
positive.
12 years ago now, which is
Yeah.
mental.
It's
We were
disgusting,
wee
isn't it?
guys.
It's disgusting. I'm 30 next year. I want to cry. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. But if you did manage to get Morgana Gomez, please let us know. And especially let us know if you enjoyed the episode. Please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. It massively helps us out. If you watch us on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
I first just want to say apologies for the length of this episode, but we were cramming
There's
games
two games and all that.
into one. But yeah, you can watch me, or rather, I'm going to be watching the best bits of Hearts 2014-15 season at Kendall's column, because what a joyride that was, and hopefully there's one in the top tier soon. Well, now.
Unbelievable. We will be back next week to discuss any potential signings, hopefully, that happen before the massive game against Celtic on Sunday. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.